Hello, everyone. My name is Portia Miller, and tuberculosis is the topic I picked for my presentation. The reason I chose tuberculosis is because when you look at the history of diseases and just history in general, tuberculosis is something that comes up quite often, and it is a well-known disease in a way. It's more of in the late history than more recently, but I wanted to learn more about it. So, tuberculosis is a disease that is more bacterial and it can be deathly to certain people if they have a weakened immune system, if someone has had other diseases or cancers or stuff like that that causes their immune systems to completely disappear and are having to build their immune systems back up. Those people are more likely to get infected by tuberculosis if they're around someone that has it. It can be a very difficult thing to transfer to another person. Again, if they have a weakened immune system, then it's not that difficult. But the um, tuberculosis does target lungs mostly. There's other organs and that it targets, but it targets the whole entire body after it gets to the lungs. So, the history of tuberculosis, it originated more than 150 million years ago, which is a long time, and a lot of people in history had it, and it was known in England and France as the King's Evil because they did believe that if someone had tuberculosis and was touched by royalty, that it would cure that person from tuberculosis. Um, a lot of people died from tuberculosis. Over 1 billion people died from it in history, and the death toll is greater than from malaria, smallpox, the plague, and influenza combined. And today, over 2 billion people are infected. 10 million people have TB, and the TB is leading infectious cause of death worldwide besides the COVID-19. The pathogen personality, a lot of people, the common name for it is tuberculosis, or they will shorten it and use TB. Scientific name for tuberculosis is Mycobacterium. I think I said that right, tuberculosis. As you can see, the genus is the Microbacterium as well. Kingdom is the Bacilliotea. I don't know how to pronounce that. I know that I did not pronounce it correctly. As you can see from the picture on the right, the shape and size of it is more small and it's round with rigid edges. They cluster together in like little patches. As you can see, and tuberculosis is an endemic disease, not the pandemic or epidemic. It's transmitted through, of course, coughing, sneezing, speaking, all of the normal ways that you would think diseases would be transmitted, but which I found very interesting and curious is that it's not spread by if you was to touch a surface and someone else was to touch it as well, or if, of course, like sharing foods or drinks or sharing things or having like actual contact with other people, it doesn't transmit that way, which is very amazing to me. As you can see on the right, I have two pictures. Well, one's a moving picture, it shows how it is transmitted from one person to the other, and the top one does as well. It affects mostly the lungs and the lymph nodes, but it does affect the kidneys, brains, the brain bone, and your spine. And then it can go into your bloodstream as well. But it does go through your mouth and your nose first and into your lungs. And the signs and symptoms of TB is, of course, having a cough, a very bad cough that is either lasted 3 weeks or more. Obviously, if you're coughing up blood or other substances, it's not a very good thing, and you might want to go to the doctor for it. Chest pains, if you have a loss of appetite and just randomly lose a whole bunch of weight. Of course, fevers and fatigue, but these symptoms are also commonly known as the normal symptoms of flus, viruses, and a lot of people might just sweep it under the rug and be like, it's okay, like I don't have anything, which is why that tuberculosis does not get noticed very quickly, and a lot of people will just wait until the last minute. Um, how is that TB diagnosed? I did not know this, but it is diagnosed through a skin and a blood test. The skin test is a PPD, which is where they put a needle under your skin and they put a little like bubble of some sort and they wait a few days to see if anything has reacted to it. And there's also the blood test, which is called a T-spot. And other ways that they diagnose TB is through x-rays and the sputum test. Treatments is there's two different ones that you pair together to make sure that you don't get it again and it kills all of the tuberculosis. The first phase is the intensive phase. Intensive is where, of course, it kills all of the major actively growing tuberculosis bacteria. So, like the main things, as well as after that phase is done, you have the continuation phase. Is again what you would think it would be, is where it's just killing the rest of the bacteria that is there and to help keep it from regrowing and allowing for the treatment to just not work. The picture on the right shows the percentages of everything if you would like to look at that. Of course, prevention, you'll want to stay out of like airtight spaces that a lot of people are in or even just a few people. And obviously, you'll want to cover your mouth while if you need to sneeze or cough to keep it from going through the air particles to another person. Staying a good distance away from people is also a very good thing. Of course, as long as you're not like breathing in their direction or coughing, sneezing, or anything that would be transmitting it through the air, then you should be fine. But that is all that I have for my presentation, and thank you.